Welcome to this episode of Say It with Scott, where we look at how the words we use enhance the lives we live. I'm Scott Sery, I'm a copywriter, and I'm a lover of how we can take a word here and there, tweak it just a little bit, and dramatically change the entire message that we're sending. This episode is brought to you by Strategic Advisor Board and by my company, Sery Content Development. Today we're going to look at the mistake that tons and tons of people make, and it's costing millions upon millions of dollars over the course of these businesses' lifetimes. This mistake is the initial touch, the initial thing that they're trying to grab clients with. A lot of times it's called the hook. They don't get it right, and they end up losing clients for life. That mistake is spending less time on a headline or an email subject line than you spend brewing a cup of coffee. Most of the time, we put a lot of work into the body of our text, to what we're trying to say, into the videos that we're creating, or the television commercials that we're making, or the copy that we're writing. We put so much time into it that if you're doing it right, you actually write the headline last. So you put all this time into your copy, into the body of it, and then you go back and you're like, oh shoot, I need a headline. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the one mistake that's costing you thousands of views. Done. Off. We spend all this time for stuff that nobody ever reads. The reason is they don't get intrigued enough, they don't get hooked enough, they don't get grabbed enough from the headline, from the subject, that they never even open the email, they never even click on the link that you're posting. So, when you create these subjects and these headlines and these hooks to draw people in, you want to create them in such a way that it actually draws people in. Because there are studies out there that show you're missing out. You could probably increase this by 30% more opens and click-throughs if you just put the right subject in there. So how do you do this? There's a ton of different ways. I'll rattle off like 4 of them. One, you can use emojis. Emojis are starting to kind of die out. People are starting to get frustrated and irritated with them, but they still work a little bit. 2, you have to make it personal. Emails are great at this. You can put that dynamic text in there, and you can use their name in the subject line. You want to hit them with something that's like super awkward or super controversial, and so they want to click on the number one mistake that they're making that's costing them tens of thousands of connections. The last one is something with the location. So if you're targeting only people like in the Billings, Montana market, you can put in your subject line, Billings homeowners need to do this before the end of the year. And then you talk about, I don't know, your CPA, your accounting firm that has captured a lot of these credits that are going away. Something along those lines. You got to make it relevant too. And then you can always use these, and you make them captivating, and you got to incorporate some funny stuff in there. The wit, the humor, that's what people remember. They remember things that are just funny, weird, and off the wall. So that's kind of where I try to focus. There's other ways to do it, but my main focus is capturing that weird wit and that sarcasm, maybe a little bit of cynicism in there as well. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Say It with Scott. I hope that you found some inspiration and education you can apply to your own business. As usual, if it didn't make sense or if you don't want to even mess with it, hit the links in the description below. Reach out and I'd be happy to help. As usual, before you go, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That way you get notifications every time Strategic Advisor Board posts great new content.